Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Monday afternoon live stream here on Tuesday this week. Like last week, due to the holiday schedule and such, I'm Peter, your host, and I'm joined this week by John. Hello, John.
Hello, good to be here.
I haven't had John with us for a while. Good to have him back. And our topic this week, as always, taken from your trusty advanced magazine, English vocab for sleep. Sleep, where did we get that idea? Well, here in the pages of your advanced magazine, we have an article this week, Does Sleep Position Matter? The position in which you sleep, does that matter? Does that have an effect on how well you sleep? So you want to read about this, get a chance to practice your English at the same time, and that's what we do here today. We give you a chance to practice your English talking about this topic. We'll talk to you. You can talk to us. We'll continue on like that for about 15 or 20 minutes here. Good to have you with us. Let's start off, as always, with our poll question. You can chime in on the poll question, and we'll try to remember to give you the results at the end of the live stream. But, as always, if we forget, they are posted in the more information box below the video, so you can always see how the poll questions worked out. But, John, what is our poll question for this week?
Our poll question today is, what is your first thought when you hear the word sleep? Is it peace and rest? Something hard to get, a necessary waste of time, or a visit to the land of dreams?
The land of dreams. Yes, so we have an interesting variety here. And of course, more than one thought may occur to you. But what's the first one? Someone says sleep. It comes up in conversation. What's the first thought that occurs to you? John, when you hear the word sleep, what's the first thought that occurs to you?
Of these here, I would definitely say peace and rest. I have a bunch of little kids, so finding some time to sleep is certainly a moment of peace, right?
Right. So maybe a couple of years ago, you would have first thought of something hard to get when we say the word sleep, or was it?
Yeah, I definitely, I can't remember. Frankly, I can't remember.
He hasn't had too much sleep the past few years, but check back with him a few more years and we'll see how it's changed. Yeah, for me, the first thought when I hear the word sleep is peace and rest. You know, I got to be honest, but that a necessary waste of time, and we put necessary in parentheses there because the main point is a waste of time, something that is necessary. You got to sleep, obviously, but I often think, sometimes I play a game in a social situation where we're getting to know people, and we'll ask a question, if you could have one superpower, just mental exercise here, imagination, if you could have one superpower, like super strength, what would it be? I always say that I wouldn't have to sleep.
Ooh, and you'd buy back.
You'd have all this extra time. You'd have a full 24 hours in the day. And that I wouldn't get tired, that I wouldn't, suffer from lack of sleep. It would just be my superpower. I wouldn't need sleep. So I do think, you
don't really love sleep then.
I love doing it, but I don't love that I have to do it.
I see.
But that's the way we're made, so we may as well get used to it.
It's really important, sleep, obviously. Apparently, scientifically, yes. When you sleep, that's when your brain releases human growth hormone. So your body does its repairing. Your brain does its repairing while you sleep.
Yes, no, absolutely important. Like we say, a necessary waste of time. And that's one perspective to take on. It's one perspective some folks may have.
Looks like the polls are coming in. Peace and rest is in the lead. We'll see what happens. Who's out there? Steve, you say the word sleep. I heard that in the land of dreams, is when you were dreaming about, you're saying you're dreaming about being at a shopping mall and buying some pillows. They'll make you dream and sleep better.
Interesting. A dream about how to sleep better.
Oh, wait, no. That's where you heard in the land of dreams. Steve, maybe you can clarify that, but it is good to see you. Joy, you say having 3 little kids. John always needs to find time to eat and sleep.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And somehow he does. I mean, he's here, he's healthy, so we'll have to learn his secret at a future live stream. But today we're talking about sleep. So, of course, the point being an opportunity to give you some English vocab, give you a chance to practice it related to sleep. So, first term we have for you, it's 2 words, actually. It's a phrase, short phrase, nod off. N-O-D space O-F-F, nod off. John, what do we mean by that?
Well, nodding is moving your head up and down. And we've all known that feeling perhaps as students when you lose interest or you fall asleep in class and you nod off, right? Hopefully not when you're driving. Nodding off can be so dangerous. But nodding off is that initial step of falling asleep where your head goes down. However, to nod off generally means fall asleep.
Right.
To fall asleep.
Exactly. And you'll hear it usually expressed to mean that the speaker wasn't very interesting or the topic wasn't very interesting in a lecture or a talk of some sort. You know, I looked out the other day when I was giving the presentation and I could see a couple people nodding off. So I raised my voice or I threw in more jokes or something like that. When you're presenting in some way, you don't want to see people in your audience nodding off.
That's right. Oh, by the way, you say sometimes you feel lethargic, which is great, low energy, or woozy, and you go to bed. Now, woozy can mean a number of things. That's a fun vocabulary word.
Similar to lethargic, but woozy will sometimes have other applications, kind of with a nuance of a little ill almost.
Yeah, maybe dizzy.
Yeah,
dizzy,
woozy.
Yeah. Janet wants your superpower too. So we have that phrase nod off, again, means to sort of informally fall asleep, sometimes accidentally fall asleep.
Yeah, it's not something you choose. You don't say, I'll see you later, I'm going to go nod off. Nod off is always something that happens against what you mean to be doing at that time.
Yeah, and there's another phrase to doze off, or just to doze.
D-O-Z-E?
Yeah, doze.
Another vocab for you? Doze.
Have you heard that before? Doze. Doze means what?
Well, you got these guys over here and those guys over there, and these guys and those guys got to meet each other, is what I think.
He's trying to make a joke about having sort of a New York accent where you say these and those, these and those. Very funny.
The actual word, means a light sleep, like a nap. Maybe you don't even completely lose consciousness. You're just kind of, just like that.
It's similar to the word daze, which means kind of like a fuzzy sort of feeling in your thinking.
Right.
Daze.
So
doze is the sleepy version of that.
Good. I hadn't even thought of that.
Maybe.
Daze, your eyes are open, you're conscious, but your daze is close to woozy, being woozy. If you're in a daze, that's kind of like being woozy.
Hi, Agatha.
Oh, Agatha, hello. And Heather. Heather, I love your comment. I would never nod off when watching the live stream. Heather, thank you so much.
Thanks, Heather.
And Agatha, sleep is the best reward for a busy day.
As the proverb says, the sleep of a working man is sweet. It is a great reward. Reading novels puts you to sleep. Yeah, reading before bed is great. Read your advanced magazine before bed, and you'll have these great advanced English dreams.
Yes, although hopefully, Joy, the novels you're reading are not our next vocab word.
Ooh.
Soporific.
This is a hard one.
S-O-P-O-R-I-F-I-C. Soporific.
Soporific. S-O-P-O-R-I-F-I-C. Like the word terrific.
Or horrific.
Yeah. Ific, turning it into an adjective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Soporific means putting one to sleep, right?
Right. Something, if your audience is nodding off while you speak, it could be that you are a soporific speaker or are speaking soporifically in that particular situation. Soporific, yeah. You'll usually hear it, again, in a negative sense. A film review might say, oh, the dialogue of this film was so simple-minded, it was positively soporific. It just put me to sleep listening to it.
There are a lot of similar words, one of which being stupor, like a stupor.
Yes.
Meaning basically being unable to move. You're in just a stupor. You're
kind of like an intense daze.
Yeah.
Or this severe wooziness.
Okay, so soporific, nod off, doze, or doze off. Let's find a fun one. We have this colloquial phrase. You will see catnap. Yes. It's a noun, a catnap.
Catnap, one word, C-A-T-N-A-P.
You know the word nap, right? A short sleep. What is a catnap? Well, it's a kind of nap that's even quicker, right?
Yeah. Thought to be the way cats nap. They seem to just sleep for a short period of time and then wake up and walk around again and then maybe go back to sleep again. I have a dog myself. The dog seems to sleep like that too. So it could have possibly been called a dog nap, but cat got in first. The word is catnap. And a short little nap. A casual nap, 15 to 20 minutes, 25 minutes tops, really.
Cats look really relaxed when they sleep.
They do.
So you can imagine someone takes a quick cat nap. They're really sleeping, but it's very short and casual. Steve, you said you dozed off during in Research Institute school. Yeah, when you're up late, it's hard not to doze off on those term papers. Agatha, question, you say, can you say tuck an adult in? Because we talk about, tucking your kids into bed.
Good question.
Sure, you can tuck anybody into bed. But the idea is that you're helping someone be warm and really cozy by tucking the blankets around them. I don't know if my wife tucks me into bed sometimes. That would be nice. Yeah, you can be tucked into bed, but it does sound very cozy, almost like a mother and a child.
Right. It's not like you just throw them into bed or you just, they go to bed themselves. You tuck them into bed. It's like you help them get into bed and you pull the sheets over them, like John was saying.
Yeah.
And it's sort of an affectionate phrase, an affectionate term. To tuck someone into bed means you care for them.
Yeah, tucking you would say, I tucked my head down in my collar to avoid seeing someone. Tucking is like to turn something down and in. Yeah. So you're tucking the edge of the blanket in so that the cold air doesn't get out. In the winter in the U.S., you really do need to tuck in the corners of your sheets.
Your sheets, right.
Because otherwise the cold air gets in there.
I know, you got to keep that warm air in there.
Yeah.
But let's take a brief pause from vocab now and give you guys another discussion question that you can chime in on.
Yes.
And this is sort of, where you can share your wisdom with us and with everyone else. What do you do when you cannot sleep?
Ooh.
What do you do? My own thing, when I cannot sleep, normally I can get a good night's sleep, but sometimes I don't. And what I do is I just keep lying there in bed. Even if I'm wide awake, because if I get up, I've found, and because some will say, get up and do another activity that makes you feel sleepy and then go back to bed.
Yeah.
If that works for you, great. For me, the problem is when I get up, I get involved in that other activity and it tends to stimulate me rather than make me fall asleep. So I stay in bed when I cannot sleep. Even if my eyes are open, I close my eyes and I just will try to think about a particular time in my life, a particular place in my life, like the childhood home I grew up in. And I'll try to just go through the home in my mind and see how much detail about each room I can remember and the color of the wallpaper and how many lamps there were in the room. Simple little things like that. Try to recreate a photograph of that in my mind. And I usually fall asleep before I get to the last room of the house. But that's just for me. Whatever works for you, let us know. John, what works for you when you cannot sleep?
What is a soporific activity? Well, when I'm tossing and turning or being sleepless, very good, as you say, tossing and turning, rolling around. Well, last night I was tossing and turning. I couldn't fall asleep. One thing that I often will do is figure out, am I hungry? Am I actually hungry? Go and eat some food, get a little meal in. They say you're not really supposed to eat a heavy meal before bed, but you've got to decide. If you're hungry, then give your body some fuel. Oftentimes, generally, I will pray. I'll say, God, you have something that you want me to think about right now. Sometimes I'll get up, if I can't fall asleep, I'll put that half an hour or hour to use. But like Peter says, sometimes you just have to tough it out.
You have to
think about something.
Yeah. Just put your mind somewhere.
Yeah. But a little food in the tummy never hurts.
Joshing, hello, as always, good to have you with us. Toss and turn, good phrase. Toss and turn, that is what you would describe being unable to sleep. That's what some people will do sometimes. They will just, lie on this side of the bed and then turn and lie on this side and then, back and forth, tossing and turning. Usually, I was tossing and turning last night means I had a lot of trouble sleeping last night.
Yeah, you can't get comfortable in the bed.
Yeah.
Steve, you talk about sometimes worries, stress about health. Certainly, we pray for you. And Agatha, you say you might get up and do something, but there's this melatonin. I'm still not sure what melatonin is, but I've tried it. It can be very effective.
Yeah.
And when you're suffering from jet lag, that's a fun term.
So Agatha, you travel a lot, I bet.
Yeah.
We'll have to get a good travel subject for you sometime. You can share a little bit about where you've been, perhaps.
Yeah.
Anyway, for the moment, though, let's get back to some vocab for you, and let's throw in an idiom. We always like to include some idioms for our topic, and sometimes they only get kind of wedged in at the end. So here we're going to put them closer in the middle of the show. Great phrase here. All, of course, based on sleep in some way. First one, sleep on it.
Okay.
Sleep on it.
Sleep on it. Well, first of all, how do you use this idiom? Let's use it in a sentence. Your friend tells you, hey, can you lend me some money? And you say, I'm going to sleep on it. Okay, so that's how you use the phrase. But what does it mean?
Yeah, a large amount of money. He's not saying, can you lend me 50 NT so I can go to 7-Eleven?
Sleep on it.
But yeah, if he has to sleep on that, then he, other issues.
So what that means is I'm going to spend at least one night. I'm going to think about it slowly and I'll give you my answer in the morning. I'm not going to make a rushed decision, right?
He's going to
Let me sleep on it.
And give you his answer in the morning.
If you're ever being pressured by a salesman, hey, buy today. You say, I got to sleep on it.
Yeah.
I'll talk to my wife. I'll sleep on it. And then I'll give you an answer in the morning.
Yeah, he probably won't literally think about it as he goes to sleep. It just means I need a day to think about it. I need some time. Let me sleep on it.
All right, friends. Well, that's almost the end of our time. I hope you can sleep on some of these terms that we've learned.
Yes, definitely. And we wanted to give you two last terms, which are also tips for helping to get to sleep when you are having trouble getting to sleep, perhaps. So these will be our last two vocab words for today. First one is conducive. C-O-N-D-U-C-I-V-E. Conducive. John, what does conducive mean, and how does it relate to sleep?
All right. Conducive means it's similar to the word conduct. It means enabling something else.
Yeah.
So you can say caffeine is not conducive to sleep. And the other word is stimulant. If you're reading
S-T-I-M-U-L-A-N-T?
Yeah, stimulant. It's like the word stimulate, to give it energy or motivate. And so a stimulant would be like something like coffee or green tea. Don't drink stimulants before bed. It's not conducive to good sleep.
Right. And stimulants can also be, too much time on the phone, watching YouTube, watching Netflix, anything that stimulates you, that makes you wake up.
Yeah.
Tempting as it can be, because it's fun to watch stuff like that. You watch it right before bedtime, you're risking your ability to fall asleep because you're stimulating yourself. So avoid stimulants and make your environment as conducive to sleep as possible. Quiet, reduce noise, dark, pull the shades, pull the curtains if you need to. Hopefully that can improve your sleep if you're having trouble getting to sleep.
That's right, friends. Well, I hope this is, if you are watching this later in the day, you need to fall asleep. I hope it has been soporific for you. If it's in the middle of your day, I hope this has been stimulating.
Yes, exactly. Well, good use of vocab there. We will be back next Monday, next week, Monday, 1 o'clock, back on our usual day, usual time, with another topic for you, another chance to practice your English. Here's the final results of the poll. If we can just give those as we're walking out the door here.
Let's run.
Your first thought when you hear the word sleep, 2/3 of you, peace and rest.
That's right. Peace and rest.
Then
Very
about
good.
14% of you say a necessary waste of time. Again, I sympathize. Something hard to get. 9% of you, sorry for the 9% of you. A visit to the land of dreams. Another 9% of you. So maybe some writers out there. I bet I can think of a few of you who might have responded to that, but we like to keep the poll results anonymous. Anyway, that's our live stream for today. Thank you very much. Have a good night's sleep, and we will see you next week.
中秋节快乐.
Bye-bye. Oh, I'm feeling kind of tired myself.